Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Live with Virginia NORML. I'm J.M. Padini, the Development Director for the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws and the Executive Director of your state chapter, Virginia NORML. It's Friday, September 9th, 2022, and that means it's time for us to talk all things cannabis in the Commonwealth and, of course, answer your burning questions live. Hey, Jeff. Happy Friday to you as well, friend. It's been generally a quiet week for cannabis in Virginia, and hey, that's okay. Hey, Tom, good to see you. We had the opportunity to speak with Cannabis Wire last week, talk about what's really going on with cannabis in the Commonwealth, and they published that piece this week. So check that out. It's from Cannabis Wire. It's called What's Next for Cannabis in Virginia. Keep that. Hi, Janice. Hello to you. No worries, friend. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you, Sarah. Siri thinks I'm talking to her when I say hi to you. And hello, JT. Glad you're awake as well. Happy Friday, Fred. So I thought that was a pretty comprehensive review by Cannabis Wire, and I really appreciated how direct and frankly honest they were in the assessment of the illicit market. They talk about how, in this article, how there's generally that time between the date that legalization takes effect and the date that retail sales begin, and call Virginia out for having taken too long, and that now the illicit market is even more emboldened than it was before. So, you like that, Sarah? Happy Friday, Casey. Good to see you here. Randy, look, there are a lot of things that the government does when good folks like you aren't looking, and it's incumbent upon us to be engaged civically and to make sure we're voting, to make sure our friends and families are voting, and that they're voting for candidates who support the policy changes that we all want to see. Happy Friday, Unique. Good to see you here. Oh, Casey. Well, Casey says, I'm taking marijuana policy analysis this semester at GMU. Fascinating. Hey, Casey, maybe have us come up and talk. We've been up there a few times. I'd love to head back. Speaking of elections and democracy and all of those things that we hold so near and dear here at NORML, there is a fantastic op-ed that NORML has published. NORML Deputy Director Paul Armentano put these wise words to paper and shared them with all of you this week on the NORML blog. Prohibitionists fear democracy more than marijuana. And I know we talked a little bit about this last week. A similar op-ed was published by Paul. But, really it comes down to this. Those who wish to perpetuate the failed public policy of cannabis criminalization have lost the hearts and minds of the American public, and they know it. So they are resorting to other methods, including being willing to overturn the will of the electorate to get their way. They've already done this in several states, and they're attempting to do it in several more. After this show, not right now. Go take a look at that op-ed and share it with people because that's what we do here. What else is going on? Elections. Our Smoke the Vote voter guide is up and running, getting everything you need sorted out for the 2022 midterm elections. We'll be having a special election here in Virginia as well. Delegate Mark Keem has resigned. He's taking a position in the Biden administration. And so Speaker Gilbert did call for a special election to replace Delegate Keem. And he made that announcement this week when the Virginia General Assembly was in session for one day to appoint judges, and they didn't. But I went anyhow and had some delightful conversations while they wasted taxpayer dollars. Hey, Randy. Let's see. Randy says, will the government allow you to grow for others? Do you mean here in Virginia, Randy? And you mean for medical? In other states, that is legal. So in Virginia, Randy, adults can cultivate up to 4 plants per household. It doesn't matter if it's for medical or adult use, but it is only 4 plants per household. So that's how it is here. Yes, in Virginia. Yes, in Virginia, you can grow 4 plants per household. I mean, if that includes, I mean, it has to include everyone in the household. I don't know how else to answer that for you. That's what the law says, and so that's what I'm going to say with my out loud voice. We don't have, in some early adopter states, they have this sort of outdated caregiver model, and people have heard of it, and they're curious as to whether or not we're going to adopt that in Virginia. I can say without spending too much time on it, no, it's not a policy that's commonly adopted nowadays, and it's certainly not on the radar for Virginia. Hey, Bill. Yes, Bill, the link to the op-ed is up right above. Good, you found it. Otherwise, just go to normal.org. It's right there on the front page, ready for you. Oh, JT, sorry that your friends, JT is not in Virginia, but robo excuses. I love it. I mean, I don't love it. It's terrible, but yeah, that seems par for the course, particularly in some of the more conservative states that have failed to take any meaningful action on cannabis policy. Hey, wherever you are, maybe you're watching from Virginia, maybe you're watching from another state, go ahead and drop that in the chat for us so we know where you're from. Wherever you are, I hope that you take just a quick minute to hit that like, follow, and or subscribe button so that you never miss a live from NORML. Make sure you're keeping up with us, and make sure we're delivering the very best in cannabis news to your inboxes every week. We send out our weekly newsletter on Thursdays, and on Saturday we send out the weekend weed read. You don't want to miss that. Make sure you're signed up. Make sure you sign up to subscribe and check that weekend weed read box so you get that email from yours truly. Hey, Randy. More questions from Randy. Is it legal to make oil in Virginia? So, sort of. I will say this, Randy. The legislative intent was not to criminalize making a tincture or an infused product at home, but the code isn't properly written. The code is written to prevent people from using dangerous extraction techniques at home, and there's another section that sort of tries to emulate that and just kind of gets it wrong. Now, at face value, it looks very much like the intent from that one improperly drafted section. It looks like the intent is to criminalize making infusions or concentrates at home, and it's not. You can't use extraction techniques that will blow up your house. That is expressly prohibited under Virginia law, and that was the intent. There's no legislative intent to criminalize making an extraction in a safe manner at home. Using regular heat and a fat like on your stove top, or using an alcohol or something like that. But I will say that we have to clean up that other section of code. So I know that was a kind of a complicated answer, but I just want to make sure you had the full story there, Randy. Hey, Sean. All right, let's read this whole thing from Sean here. When they tell us we can, then they don't build the stage for the show. Metaphorically speaking, the show will go on. That is accurate, Sean. Absolutely. Sad part is that there's people that give product that they have no clue of the source. Yeah, that is incredibly unfortunate, Sean. That's a problem with unregulated commodities. They pose a risk to the consumer, whether they're cannabis or otherwise. Sure, one might cultivate cannabis for personal use at home and be very careful about how and why they're doing that, and that's one thing. But to look at sort of the larger illicit market in Virginia and probably in other states as well, it's controlled by organized crime, and so that's not your friend who grows craft cannabis at their home. So yeah. And yes, you're right, Sean. Thankfully, Virginians are allowed to cultivate at home. And hey, we appreciate your support. Thanks for tuning in, Sean. Hey, Christy in Tennessee. Good to see you. Hey, Nick in Stafford. Hey, JT, thanks for reminding me to remind folks that if you are an Amazon shopper, you can support NORML or Virginia NORML when you shop on Amazon. Just choose the NORML Foundation to give to NORML when you shop using Amazon Smile. Or if you want to have a more local effort, you can choose Cannabis Commonwealth, which is our C3 foundation here in Virginia. Thanks for the reminder, JT. Oh, James. James asks, what do we know about the laws for rehab and nursing homes? There's a whole code section on that, James. It's been a minute since I had to look at it, but essentially the answer is that yes. The answer is yes. A facility can allow residents to have medical cannabis on site. There is a registered agent option that further facilitates this, since often in residential facilities, the resident needs someone to either physically receive or go and purchase their medication for them. So the short answer, James, is yes. There are laws affording access to residents in assisted living or nursing facilities in Virginia. Hey, Unique. Oh, Unique. You just like the easy ones for me, don't you? Any word on legal cannabis smoking lounges in Virginia? So yes, we all know that consumption venues currently exist in Virginia. Are they legal? No. Will they be one day? Maybe, but it's not going to be anytime soon because elections have consequences. So that's the short answer. We'll try again in 2023, but I can already tell you there are a number of members of the House of Delegates who aren't going to go for that. No closed loop systems. Yeah, Ronson. Don't blow your house up. You're welcome, Randy. Oh, Michael with the spicy comments. I'm just gonna drop that up there for Michael. Michael says, still too many reefer madness dinosaurs in Congress. No kidding. Plus the alcohol industry lobbyists and very conservatives, not to mention evangelicals. I think that it's super easy to like point fingers at alcohol or even tobacco or big pharma, another popular one. And sure, they've presented some opposition at times, but really the strongest opposition is from those who capitalize currently on prohibition. And the roots of prohibition run long and deep and far and wide, and it's fascinating and disgusting to see how many parts of society and how many systems they are so deeply woven into the fiber of. It's not just jails and prisons. It's companies that capitalize on testing your urine, companies that receive funding from states through the process of criminalization. So, sometimes this will look like substance abuse organizations. It's no dig at substance abuse organizations that provide services to folks, but there are some out there that are that really do capitalize on states funneling people into their program through mandated rehab for cannabis infractions. We watched that go down here in Virginia for sure. Yeah, so law enforcement often will be opposed for no other reason than they don't know any differently. So, oh, hey Thomas, I want to read your comment here. Thomas says it's unfortunate is the medical dispensaries aren't consistent. You can't look at or smell it before you buy. Also, no refunds. Okay, that part is sort of not entirely, sort of true, not entirely true. If you have a problem with the product that you get from an actual dispensary in Virginia, you should call the pharmacist at that dispensary and ask to speak with them. If you have difficulty, just reach out to us and let us know, and we can help facilitate resolving your issue. What are the chances we'll ever get to see or smell it first, like a real market? I don't know. I mean, Thomas, will we get there? Absolutely. But we aren't getting there right now because of elections having consequences. If we had a different legislature, if we had a different House of Delegates, then we would be able to make some changes, but we don't. And by and large, the regulatory model that we have for medical cannabis in Virginia was enacted under a Republican-controlled legislature a few years back. So it's why it's as sort of tightly wound as it is. In some respects, it's great for consumers. In other ways, it's terrible for consumers. We have some of the best consumer safety standards in the United States, but we have some of the most restrictive pathways to entering or accessing medical cannabis in the United States and Virginia. So we'll get there, but gosh, if you all could elect people who don't suck, that'd be really, really helpful. Thanks. Tom's got jokes. Tom says, I want to know where I could find some of the weed I saw in Reefer Madness, the kind where you take one puff and in 10 seconds, extreme euphoria. Oh, James, you're in Roanoke and you've heard they're putting a smoking bar downtown. That's cute. Neat. Can't wait to see how that goes. Let us know. Hey, Randy, thanks for this question. Randy is alluding to the fact that You can't buy seeds technically in Virginia. Can't sell them in Virginia, even though people obviously do. The DEA ruled this year that it considers seeds, cannabis seeds, to be legally defined as hemp because seeds do not contain THC. Regardless of what the seeds turn into, a legally defined hemp plant or a legally defined marijuana plant, seeds do not contain THC. The only time seeds have THC is when they're dirty, when THC fell on them from the plant. Anyhow, seeds. So DEA ruled that seeds are hemp. Now, this does not just immediately change Virginia law, but it makes it easier to change Virginia law. What doesn't make it easier are the folks that you all elected to the House of Delegates. So we can try to either remove seeds from the definition, or allow seeds. Really the only way I think we do that is to try and strike seeds from the definition. Honestly, I feel like if there's a bill that's specifically like this is a bill for selling seeds, it's going to be DOA. But a definitional change that removes seeds, about the most plausible path forward I can think of at this point. John, the sales what? Sales date? Do I think Republicans are going to push the sales? I'm going to go with date here. Make it, do I think that sales are going to begin on January 1, 2024? No, I don't. And I'll tell you why, John. Because right now, there's not a clear path for a bill to succeed in the 2023 session that allows sales. If there were, when there is a path, when we see a clear path in the House of Delegates for a bill related to retail sales to begin to succeed, then we'll have a different answer for you. But let's just say that's the case. Let's just say there is a path forward, and we know that the House is going to advance a bill for retail sales in 2023. Then that bill, that new law, would take effect on July 1, 2023, because that's when new laws generally take effect, is July 1. The only time they take effect faster is when there's an emergency clause, and an emergency clause requires a supermajority of votes, and there aren't the votes for that in the House. There aren't even the votes for that in the Senate. So the earliest such a bill could take effect would be July 1, 2023. God, I can't remember how time works. And think about that. That's only 6 months to January 1. So is a state agency going to license businesses, and are those businesses going to be approved and operational in 6 months? No. There could be new medical dispensaries. That's more plausible, that medical dispensaries, the existing ones, could be able to sell to adults on that short timeline to meet the January 1, 2024 date, or that there could be new medical dispensaries licensed, and since they're already allowed to wholesale between each other, a new retail only location could acquire product from an existing vertical facility and begin sales. Again, it's elections have consequences, and this is what we're all experiencing here in Virginia right now. Fonz, that's fair. We didn't vote for these folks either, but collectively Virginia did. And we're all feeling it now, aren't we? Oh, Bill. I'm sorry, Bill. Bill says, has it been confirmed that Virginia has done legalization in the dumbest possible way? I mean, we're ahead of those who haven't done anything but there should be an award or something. Oh, Bill, you've warmed the cockles of my cold, dead heart. I think so. I was having this conversation with someone here earlier today, and it's remarkable how um, fantastically, epically, equally both parties have screwed Virginians in legalization. So we had the Democrats, when they were in power, listened to one specific senator who demanded that there be a reenactment clause on legalization. Instead of just getting everything done in one vote in 2021, they thought they could drag it out for some sort of like political leverage and have another vote. Well, what happened was the November election, and then we came back to the 2022 session, and guess what? Democrats didn't have a trifecta anymore, and there was no pathway for reenactment of that bill. So it failed, and it failed not only because Democrats, got roped into this reenactment, but because Republicans in the House threw their hands up in the air, like, "Oh, we're not going to do anything." So both are to blame. Both have made some epically stupid choices and have not followed the direction or advice of policy experts who live and work in this state, specifically on cannabis policy. So yeah, it's not like they had to make these choices. They chose them all on their own, despite professional advice not to. Oh, hey, Sarah. I'm going to just put this up here without even reading it, so I hope it's good. Sarah says, I see that VDAX, that's the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, made those who manufacture, sell, or offer Delta 8 in a food or beverage a violation. Yes. What happened is the Food Safety Program issued a memo, as they are lawfully authorized to do, indicating that they consider synthetic cannabinoids to be adulterants in food, and it is prohibited to put synthetic cannabinoids in food. To your next question, Sarah asks, that doesn't make consuming Delta 8 in food illegal, does it? No, it doesn't. It makes putting it in food and selling it to people unlawful. Yeah, well, there you go, Sarah. Technically buying, why I'm even offering this. We get this, question about like is buying marijuana illegal? And technically in Virginia, it's the sales of it that is prohibited. Oh, Fonz, it's like you watched this show before, my friend. We do need small bills that focus on, Cassidy, you're in there twice now, focus on adult use and, if allowing existing operators to sell first opens the door for consumers to have access to products, then absolutely. I'm real tired, as are all of us at NORML, about hearing this battle about who gets to make money first or next off of consumers. That's not the battle that we're here to fight. We're here solely for consumers, and we're here to make the best out of whatever regulatory models this state has saddled us with. And if that means, doing what literally every other state has done and allowing existing operators to sell, then so be it. Right? I'm sorry if that doesn't comport with others' personal business models, but we're not here for that. Oh, I mean, Casey, you have a good point. Every state has its own special successes and extraordinary failures when it comes to legalization. Casey says they're writing a class on Illinois' policy, and they don't allow personal cultivation for adult use, and they have different excise tax rate based on THC percentage on top of sales tax. So yeah, everyone has every state has their own special way of making legalization terrible. Sean, look, like, it's so true, right? But it's not. People were all about public safety, consumer safety. Spoiler alert, they're the same thing. They were all about that in the battle to end criminalization. But then when it came time to move forward with the retail component, they can't say that on the internets. They suddenly didn't care as much about consumer safety, if at all. And they found a new Twitter-based narrative that is about who gets to make money first or next. It's literally exhausting. Listen, friends, this Monday coming up, the Cannabis Public Health Advisory Council. This is an advisory council to the Virginia Cannabis Control Authority Board of Directors. The Public Health Advisory Council is meeting Monday. You can watch virtually. You can go watch in person. I encourage you to do one or the other. Cassidy told me that earlier today she did look for the video from the Cannabis Oversight Commission and that it was not yet available, which I think is super weird. I want to look. I want to see. Was it in special session? Meetings? I can't remember what day it was. Oh. Yeah, I guess not. Anyhow, if we can find the video from the Oversight Commission, we'll post that. You all should watch it if you didn't watch it already. It wasn't spectacularly thrilling, but best way to know what's going on is to watch what's going on. What else? Hey, I'm super excited for the weekend, as I always am when we talk on Fridays. Who's going to MJ BizCon? It's in Las Vegas. It is November 15th through the 18th. And Associations Day, hosted by MJ BizCon, is a pre-show event at which NORML will be. So if you are going out to MJ BizCon, I hope you'll be there for Associations Day on the 14th. Come see me, say hello, and you can save a lot of money on your registration if you, I don't know where that is in here, Cassidy, but it's somewhere in here. There we go. Thank you. You can save 10% on any registration when you use the code AD22NORML. Cassidy's going to drop the link in there for you all. Hope to see you there. And there is a panel discussion on the last day of MJ BizCon, the 18th. And yours truly will be on that panel where we'll be talking about mid-Atlantic markets. So I really hope that we get the chance to connect if you are going. Go. Save money with our code because we like you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Speaking of other fun and exciting events coming up, this month we have Pride Fest. VA Pride Fest happens here in Richmond, weirdly in September, on Browns Island. Virginia NORML will have a tent at Pride Fest, so come by and see us if you are going to be there. We will have all kinds of exciting merch for you, a lot of which you can get in our Facebook shop right now, like this safe storage device. This is available for you. We have this size, and then we have the larger bag size as well. We still have some awesome socks left. Got some socks. Of course, who does not want a copy of Clinical Applications for Cannabis and Cannabinoids, review of the recent scientific literature? That should go like in everyone's holiday gift. Speaking of books, and I know Cassidy, and in particular Alex, I hope you're watching. Alex, are you watching? I hope so, Alex. We have a few more of these left. So the coloring book sold out, but we have a few more of this comic. A very, very few left. It is called Cannabis the Cat to the Rescue. And the author was kind enough to donate these to us. It is a full color comic. We have also, I think, maybe just 2 copies left of Cannabis the Cat Goes to Washington, also a full color comic. You can get both of these in the Virginia NORML Facebook shop right now. So you should probably do that. Yeah. We've got the brand spanking new. You saw it here first. New NORML lapel pin. These are both in the Virginia NORML Facebook shop and the NORML web store as well at store.norml.org. You can get this there as well. You can also get this in the Amazon Kindle store as an ebook. How about them apples? Liz, hi friend. Where are we going to have dinner? In Vegas. Can't wait. Yeah, Liz, you're not wrong. Virginia doesn't make good choices. Sarah, I know you're going to MJ BizCon. I'm going to see you there too. Oh, yeah. Elections have consequences, friends. All right. This has been delightful as always. We have so many awesome things for you to check out, not only on the NORML website, but on the Virginia NORML website and in the Virginia NORML Facebook shop and the NORML web store. So you should probably do that. And before we leave here, I'm going to mention to you that we stream live every Friday on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and on YouTube. But this platform does not allow us to stream directly to Instagram. Still, there's loads of excellent content from NORML on Instagram. So if you aren't already following us there, please do. It's just like a couple of clicks. That's all I'm asking. Just a couple of clicks. Follow us on Instagram. Let me know what you think of that content too. All right, friends. Oh, there's new comments. Oh, they're from us. Hey, David. Thanks, buddy. You're doing a great job too. Jennifer, I'm sorry that you're late. Welcome. Now that you've been here for exactly 60 seconds, we're ready to wrap this up and leave. Oh, I'm sorry you missed it all, friend, but it was good to see you, even for just a second. Hey, everyone. Let's do this all again next week. That sounds like a great time. All right, friends. See you, JT. See you later, Jennifer. Thank you, David, for tuning in. Hey, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here next week.